name is Kat, and today I have a book haul for you guys. I got a bunch of books and some boxes full of even more books, so let's just get into all the books. Book. Bookity book. Let's go. As usual, we're kicking things off with the BOOKSPLOSION Book of the Month. The July pick is Tempests and Slaughter by Tamora Pierce. We're working with Random House this month, and I am so hyped to read this because I've never read a Tamora Pierce book before, and she is like a queen in the fantasy novel world. So I need to read something by her, and this sounds so good. This is the first book in a new series, and it's kind of an origin story of sorts. We meet a character that appears in another one of her series, but we meet this character when he's still young and he's attending school. Magic school is one of those tropes that I'm always here for. The live show discussion for this book is happening Wednesday, August 1st, so that is your read by date if you want to join us, and I'll go ahead and put all of the other relevant details down in the description below. Next up, I have some boxes to open. So this video includes a paid promotion with Disney Book Group. I am working with them this summer to celebrate the Darkest Minds series, and I have 2 boxes full of Darkest Minds goodies to open up and share with you guys here. So let's do it. I need my unboxing knife. Let's open the long one first. Read it before you see it. Yes. Solid advice from a box. It's blue! Telekinesis. So the first thing I see in this box is the movie tie-in edition of The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken. And this just came out on June 26th, so it is out in the world and available now. If you haven't yet checked out this series, I definitely recommend it. I have loved this series since I read the first book back in 2013, I want to say. I made a video for it like 5 years ago. I'll link that below if you want to check it out. But yeah, I love this series. I love Alexander Bracken's books, and I am so excited for the movie. Ooh, there's also a little pouch with a Darkest Mind keychain. I have to get real close. A Darkest Mind keychain. Look at my camera focus. You go, camera. That's cute. Then there's a t-shirt here that I am totally on board with. It says, book before movie. Yeah, I really agree with this t-shirt. Like, it makes some excellent points. Ooh. A movie poster. I like this. I'm gonna hang this on my wall here that you guys can't see, but I'm putting together a wall of posters and pictures and things. I'll show you sometime. Moving on to the other box here. Ooh. This box is yellow themed for electrokinesis. Electricity! Oh my gosh. It's The Darkest Legacy by Alexander Bracken, the 4th book in this series. It's not out yet until July 31st. But look at it. Oh, look at those end pages. Dang, girl. So this is the 4th book in the Darkest Minds series. It's kind of a companion to the trilogy. Like, this is its own kind of standalone story, and we're following a different main character in this book than we do in the original trilogy. But this book does take place 5 years after the events of the original trilogy. So you do want to read that first. I am so excited to read this, and also so excited for the movie. I cannot wait. It's gonna be such a good week when this book and the movie come out. What is this? Okay. Ooh, the goodies in this box are really cool too. Got a pair of socks, which I always love. I love socks. Like, I have a monthly sock subscription. Anyways, I think this is just decoration. It kind of looks like candy, but I don't think it's candy. I think it's decoration. I think it's decoration, right? It's not candy. I'm not gonna try it. And then this, like, light bulb cup is just like one of the coolest things of like themed book swag I think I've ever gotten. I dig it. I dig it. Moving on to the next book that I have here, which is Netherworld Wait by Marisha Pessl. This is a standalone thriller thriller mystery type of book. I actually don't know a ton of specifics because when I first started to look for specifics, all the reviews and mentions of this book said that it's much better to go into it not really knowing a lot. The general idea of this book is that we are following a teenage girl named Beatrice whose boyfriend died by suicide a year before the start of this novel. She has had a lot of questions about what happened. She doesn't believe that suicide was the cause of his death. And a year after his death, she is meeting up with her friend group from that time that she hasn't seen since then. And she thinks that they know more secrets, they know more about his death than they're letting on, and she's just trying to get to the bottom of things. I've heard really good things about Marisha Pessl. Like, she wrote Night Film, which is an adult novel and was very popular, very well received. I have it on my shelf. I've been meaning to read it. And this is her young adult debut. And yeah, it just sounds very fascinating and mysterious, and like there's an interesting psychological thriller aspect to this that I am excited to get into. Next up is another box. This is something that I bought from Amazon. This book is so pretty. It's thinner than I thought it would be. Ooh, how many pages is this? Okay, it's just under 400 pages. But the other books are more like 500 pages, so this is the third and final book in the Conqueror saga by Kiersten White, the first book being And I Darken, and the second book being Now I Rise. Let me grab the books, because they're really pretty together. Look how pretty they look together! Oh. So BOOKSPLOSION actually just did Now I Rise as our June book of the month, and we did And I Darken back in the day in like 2016. I'll link some more info about both of these down below if you're new to the series and you're interested in it. But basically, I loved these two books and I am so excited to read them. I love Kiersten White. I love her writing. I love her stories. She's just a great storyteller. I love her stuff. And especially with Now I Rise so fresh in my mind, I'm very eager to get to this. It's so pretty too. Look, they're so pretty together. I love this. Next up, I have this box here from HMH Teen. Ooh. So this box is all about GRIM Lovelies by Megan Shepard. This is the first book in a new series that is coming out in October, and it's actually going to be the BOOKSPLOSION Book of the Month for October. So early info dropping here. This is the first book in a new urban fantasy series that is set in Paris. We are following a teenage girl who wasn't always a human girl. She used to be an animal, but her mistress turned her into a human, and then her mistress goes and gets murdered. And our main character, along with the other beastie changelings, have 3 days to figure out how to stay human before they revert back to their animal forms, which they don't want to happen. This book sounds so cool, and I thought it was historical at first, but it actually takes place in the modern day, which I think makes it even cooler because it feels like a kind of old school historical magic system almost, but it's modern day. I love that. I am very excited to read this, and I'll put some more information down below. Again, it is going to be the BOOKSPLOSION Book of the Month later this fall, so I will be reading it then, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Also in this box, there was a little GRIM Lovelies lip balm, and also these cool little pins. Witches, beasties, royals, and goblins. Oh my. Next up, I have here a finished copy of Fox by Nadine Brandes. I just got the ARC in my last book haul, I think. But Nadine was sweet enough to send me a finished copy because the finished copy does look so much nicer on the shelf than the ARC. It's a standalone historical fantasy novel set in England in the early 1600s, and there's magic and mystery and an assassination plot, and it just sounds really cool, and I'm really excited to read it. Next up, I have here Lifelike by J. Kristoff, and this is the first book in what I believe is a sci-fi series. Trilogy, I want to say. I don't know too much about this. Like, I just purchased this immediately when it came out, not really looking at the synopsis. But from the sounds of it, it's set in like a futuristic kind of world, and we're following a girl who is just trying to survive and like get through each day, and then she discovers this beautiful android boy in a scrap heap, and that kind of just opens up a whole world of trouble and adventure and mystery. So yeah, that sounds real cool, and again, I really like J. Kristoff's stuff, so I am excited to see what he does with this book. Then I have here The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is an adult fantasy novel that I decided to pick up because I just heard so many people raving about it. Basically, it's about this young woman who is a war orphan, and she ends up acing this test that is designed to find like the most promising students to come study at the academies, and nobody expected that, least of all her. So she ends up going to this elite military academy, and she's trained to fight in the upcoming war. Like I mentioned earlier, I am always a sucker for like magical schools and just like training academy settings. So I'm getting some like Name of the Wind vibes from this, maybe a little bit, but with a female protagonist and obviously a very different world and situation. This sounds awesome, so I'm very excited to read it. And finally, I have here my novel box, which is something that I got to put together at an event at BEA, and then they shipped it to me afterwards. And I just got it not too long ago, and I've been waiting to open it for this video, so let's do it! So first, I have a couple little pins. This cute little notebook, which I adore notebooks. Stationery products, I have a thing for them, and this is adorable. Then I have here Fireblood by Ellie Blake, which is the sequel to Frostblood, which I was given at the event, so it's cool that they sent me the sequel as well. They also sent me an arc of The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the sequel to The Cruel Prince, the second book in that trilogy, I believe it's gonna be. And this doesn't come out until January, so there's a bit of a wait for this, but I have heard endless good things about The Cruel Prince. I haven't yet read it myself because I like to marathon series together. I did buy it though. I'm probably going to pass this along to a friend because I have a couple friends who read the first book and who are dying for the second book, and they didn't get an arc, and I haven't read the first book yet. But I am still very excited about this series and very excited to read both the first book and the second one. Then I was given the option to choose 2 arcs from a list of them, and I went with Dear Evan Hansen, the novel edition. I haven't seen the show. I haven't even listened to the soundtrack because I don't want to be spoiled for things. I wanted to see the show first, and unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think I'm gonna be able to see Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway. So when I saw there was a novelization of the story, I got really excited, and like this was my #1 pick of what I wanted in this novel box. So I'm so happy that it's here. I'm so looking forward to reading this. And finally, I have here An Assassin's Guide to Love and Treason by Virginia Boker. Now, for most of the books that we could choose from for this box, there were publicists and editors who were kind of telling us about them and like pitching them to us. But no one mentioned this book. I just saw it on the list, and immediately the title grabbed my eye, and I was like, that sounds like a book I'ma like. It's about star-crossed assassins in Elizabethan England. I'm so into that. Like that sounds awesome. All right, there you have it. Those are all of the boxes I had to open and the books I had to show, and that is gonna do it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will have another video up eventually. So I will see you then. Goodbye! Ooh, sorry, I almost fell all up on you.